than Lady Helen Ebi. She is the head of branch, National Library of Nigeria, Akwa Ibom State. And she is here today, not just as a guest to do analysis. You know, we do town hall meetings, and this other town hall meeting on radio, she's here as a guest speaker. And she is going to speak on something that you are going to learn a lot. And we call that, under Central Education Enlightenment, all you need to know about the National Library of Nigeria. Lady Helen Ebi, you're welcome to Open Forum with Susan MKO.
Thank you. Good morning, our viewers. Good morning, our
listeners too. Awesome. Lady Helen Ebi, you are the head of branch, National Library of Nigeria. We in Akwa Ibom used to go to Cross River, Calabar, to do any transaction that has to do with the National Library. I actually had to go to there to get a number when we started the Open Forum magazine. Now, just give us a brief rundown. Where were you before when the branch was now open and you were brought to be the pioneer head of branch?
Thank you so much, my presenter. Yes, it is something to write home about. It's a pleasure that actually it has been a problem to the states.
Yes.
We, the indigenous of National Library of Nigeria, there in Abuja, I started the job with National Library of Nigeria in Lagos, posted to Abuja.
Okay.
Then from there, 2020, I was redeployed to Akwa Ibom State as the head and the pioneer head of National Library. We kick-started the office on the 1st of November 2020. We, the indigenous of National Library, Akwa Ibom State National Library, took up the matter to the management and we worked on that. From there, the management came, booked an appointment with the former governor, Udom Emmanuel, who helped out in approving the office to the state. So we are thankful to God. We came in and we were able to solve the major problems of the stakeholders.
What was the major problem by your assessment?
The issue of going to Calabar, Abuja, Lagos, Imo states to enable them access
the
services of National Library.
Talking about services that you provide, I noticed that even in your office there, you have services that are indicated, such as legal deposit collection, bibliographic services and control, readership promotion, reference and user services, library consultancy services. Now speak to these services and how has been the response of the people of Akwa Ibom State since you brought this very National Library to Akwa Ibom people?
Yes, generally, the services of National Library is broad, but the major one that has to do with what concerns the stakeholders directly, those that are in the publishing industry.
Those are the ones you call stakeholders.
Stakeholders, okay. Those that are in the publishing industry. Publishers, printers, booksellers, lecturers, researchers, authors, and librarians. Those are the ones that are in the book industry. Anybody that has anything to publish, to write,
People be wondering, what concerns publishing and writing? What is the real role? Is it number that you give or the monitoring? Let us have specific mention of what these publishers need and how they have been adhering to it and what are the abuses.
That is the major problem we are having. And that is why we are here to continue to sensitize the public about that. Because the level of compliance in the states is very low. Unfortunately, these are the services that is being rendered by National Library as the only authority and the body approved by the federal government to handle.
Okay, let's do this. There are people who are authors, but they when they need either ISBN or ISSN,
yes,
there's one other one having to do with musical.
Yes.
What do you call that one?
As ISMN, the National Standard Music Number.
How many people are even aware that the number must be gotten for musical albums?
That is why we are here.
That is serious. Now let's speak to how would authors know that their publishers are using genuine numbers that were received from National Library and not something generated. When we talked of, you mentioned that there's a street in the US where people generate numbers. Speak to it.
That is a very big disappointment. Please, we want to educate the public that these numbers are very important. International standard book numbers, international standard serial numbers,
okay,
and international standard music numbers and others. So we are here to really sensitize them that they have no reason when they were looking for the opportunity of this office to come to states, and we are here. The unfortunate situation is that even in a situation I was called upon, a professor who were advised by somebody, go to National Library. The office is located at State Library Board headquarters. It's within Udotumbo Street. There is no difficulty in coming there, tender your application, apply for your number.
So what happened with the prof? You were trying to cite an instance.
Somebody was advising him.
Yes.
That why are you patronizing quacks? Go to the office. The office is
just it's don't throw.
It's don't throw. He said, they will do it for me at Ibiam Street. Sorry to say that. I don't want to waste time. Please, we are not there to waste anybody's time.
So Ibiam Street happens to have a number of printers there.
Generating these fake numbers.
Really?
Please, and please, we are begging. Don't go there. You cannot get authentic number from Ibiam Street.
There's always a consequence of generating fake things. For instance, I want to say that I have your National Library decree, technical. I think we should display this. This is what we have as the Act, National Library Decree 1970, supplemented to Official Gazette number 27, this and that. Let me just, that's it. Now, when I flipped through, this Act was established in 1970. What are the measures put in place to update them? Because all we have here are the military people from Gowon to Babangida, did the amendments up to 1987, and some of the fines which I want to speak to may be very inadequate. Now you will find somebody 100 naira as his penalty for defaulting. So those people that generate fake ISSN, ISBN, and whatever other numbers, going by this decree, or is a decree, now you answer two questions in one.
Okay.
What are the measures put in place to update this? And what are the offenses for people who are generating fake numbers and giving to learned people to use without their knowledge?
The situation is that they are, believing that we will not be there one day. National Library has started a process.
Okay.
One thing with law is that, like, another reason some laws like the 1970 Act decree,
yes,
is still having relevant provisions,
okay,
that are effective and addressing specific issues. So additionally, this process of appealing for replacement,
yes,
in an existing law can be complex and contentious. It may require significant political will
But we have
consensus.
the National Assembly.
And we are,
yes,
we know this. Major part of the law are still functional.
Yes.
That's what we are working with.
Let's speak
that particular part has been addressed. So that law has been passed.
First, second reading.
First, second
reading.
And even third reading.
Really?
Yes.
So we soon have a new law.
It has been sent to the president.
Really?
For endorsement.
You are getting this information possibly in this part of the world firsthand, that the amended National Library Act is before Mr. President now for signing into law. And that is going to spell out new additions, particularly having to do with penalties.
Yes.
And I just want to, if you have an insight on a possible penalty for people that default, and the consequences for publishers not having their works with you, because we need to switch over to the chief priest for state conversation. Yes.
So we really appreciate the present, even the previous chief executive, Professor Veronica Anunubi. She's doing everything possible. She has worked round the clock to make sure that these laws are in place in the very in short, the nearest possible time. So maybe because of that, they are still believing that after all it's been 100 naira, even if they are arrested or you know our people.
100 naira was a lot of money at that time.
It was a lot of money.
Yes.
So the situation is not really for you to wait.
It's okay. Now let's do this. There's a question, or there are at least one or two questions I must ask. You are here as a national body, and I have been to some places. And you say that you go to look for information, you believe they should have information. You discover that you don't even have a librarian. What is your level of interface with institutions in the state and structures where you can synergize to get result? Another issue is, how are you educating people? There's a local government area in Akwa Ibom that converted the only library they had to a political party office. Are you interested in seeing if local governments, schools, and government agencies and ministries have functional libraries?
That is the major one of the activities of National Library. And the issue is that we are here as the apex library of the nation. Okay. All other libraries are expected to be under National Library, under our watch.
All other libraries?
Yes. So we are doing our best. What we need is the encouragement and support. That is why we are collaborating from Ministry of Education, public schools, tertiary institutions, yearbook clubs, copyrights, all paramilitaries.
Okay, let's do this.
NGOs.
You can name them. Now, how successful has that collaboration been? Have you been able to visit His Excellency the Governor to put some issues on his table, or even the Ministry of Education? How successful have you been in interfacing at that level? Because there are things you do at the low level may never yield, but between Ministry of Education and meeting His Excellency the Governor, have you done that?
That is exactly the point I was about to mention.
Please go ahead.
It is not about collaboration and you are seated back. I've done everything possible to reach out. I have a ministry I am expected to report to. We've made an attempt, and we want a situation that when we are out for our campaigns, because we have annual campaigns, sensitization campaigns, workshop, readership promotion campaigns, which we have been handling and consistently, annually, in the states, mounting pressure for people and for National Library to be had.
Yes.
But you know, the situation we are finding ourselves, sometimes you write,
No response.
no response,
Which has
you
been a
write.
challenge generally.
I have all the correspondence.
Okay, let's do this. I can see you are not. I know how civil servants talk. You must have met frustrations here and there.
Exactly.
Here is open forum of people, issues, ideas, and solutions. I don't want to say the little I did as a consultant to one NGO having to do with library issues. I've invested there time and money. Thank God that you are now in Akwa Ibom State. I want to say it. His Excellency is very responsive to ideas. I want to appeal to His Excellency. We will do everything possible with National Library to be sure that a letter gets to him to be able to receive the the head of branch, Akwa Ibom State, and then to see what can be done. Most of them have been given a land, and it's just more than giving a land. There are other things that can be done, and by the time His Excellency will leave, or maybe the next moving forward, a number of things, Akwa Ibom will be seen as one of the most successful states when it comes to how National Library is faring. We want to cross over now, but just in 30 seconds, just make one good statement that we can take as your parting shot for now, so that I can get to the chief priest.
Please, an appeal. Our intention now is to make sure that we do the needful by giving the public our usual service delivery, and we are there to give out our services, which is free. The services of National Library is free.
But people have to pay for the ISBN number.
That's an administrative fee.
Okay.
That goes to TSA accounts.
Okay.
A token. So we are appealing to the public, the stakeholders, to do well, visit the office and get your authentic numbers. You know, the case of litigation is always coming. By the time you have problems,
okay,
you start running to National Library.
Now that reminds me, very important. When people have cases in court, like newspaper publications and other public documents, are they supposed to be certified by you before they become legal tender in court?
Exactly. There is no other body except National Library. I do the certification.
So if the publishers cannot, if publishers certify, that will not be enough.
No publisher is expected or is permitted to do that.
Beautiful. If you are hearing us, and I know you are hearing us on radio, watching us on Facebook, if you have issues that requires documents being certified, particularly printed materials, newspapers, magazines, the head of branch of National Library says they must be certified before it can be admissible in court. And good enough. A good plot to leave it. We have a publisher here. Let's get to the chief priest, Mr. Akanimo Samson. You've heard the head of branch National Library, and she has said something that affects you. Be a stakeholder there. You are a publisher. Can you just briefly speak to it, maybe in a minute or two, to collaborate or to add your voice to the advocacy that we are handling in open forum? The chief priest.
The truth of the matter is this, that the National Library in Akwa Ibom State have a lot to do. One, it's very, very important in whatever way you want to look at it, to have an audience with Governor Umono. Governor Umono is the chief executive of the state. That the former governor gave them land. The Arise agenda of Governor Umono is about total transformation. Not only the state, but the people. And you cannot transform a people when they are not reading, when there are no information available to them. And for publishers and the like, let them adhere strictly to that law. I'm aware that, okay, every publication so published, National Library must have at least minimum of 3 copies. That is always what the law says.
What is that called? Deposit?
Legal deposit.
Legal deposit, yes, of your newspaper. Because just like she said, if it is not certified, no. You see, the whole time where people, for instance, you might have libeled somebody, say 5 years ago. That person didn't buy that newspaper. And this is a whole ignorance of even including newspaper people, but we know because we play according to the law. If that person goes back to that newspaper office to buy that particular paper in which it was libeled 5 years ago,
Yes.
and demand a receipt for that copy is binding, in the eyes of the law, is deemed as if that day you issue that receipt is when that was published. And therefore, it will not be tampered in court. And so much, we will be interested. We'll always believe in something that has to do with development. I've always in support of anything that will lift Akwa Ibom forward. And therefore, any government functionaries that will seek, to debar the National Library representative from meeting the governor is an enemy of Akwa Ibom State.
Thank you so very much. No better way to nail it than that. And we trust that His Excellency, who is very responsive, will, once the letter for a courtesy call gets into him, he will do everything possible. And I want to use the opportunity to commend the SSG, Prince Enobonwa, very responsive, very proactive SSG. I can vouch for him, and I want to promise that we will do everything possible to be sure that the SSG is also carried along in this matter to ensure that His Excellency Dr. Umar Basieno will give attention to National Library, because there are certain issues that will be treated, and that will be for the best interest, in the best interest of Akwa Ibom State. Yes, Lady Ebi, in 30 seconds.
Very importantly, we want to draw the attention of the publishers. We are calling on them, please and please, to tender their legal deposit copies after publication.
Tell them where they are to see you.
National Library of Nigeria is at State Library Board premises, Udotumobo Street.
Thank you.
Please, before you are being sanctioned,
all right,
you will not be able to take the next number.
Beautiful. Thank you so very much.